another pillar in my transformation. And this time, The Loyal Soldier. This was Erica's reading assignment to me, the moment that changed everything. The book was Falling Forward by Richard Rohr. I didn't have much time to read it before I came to Effingham for this in-person visit. There's a key passage here I want you to read, and it's about the aftermath of World War II in Japan. Now, honor and loyalty have always been central to the Japanese culture, and this was an especially painful period for soldiers returning to their villages after losing the war. Suicide, substance abuse, broken families were hallmarks of the returning warriors, haunted by their past, a future that seemed so bleak. I just want to read you the passage of the book where the words went from black to red. Let me just read this one paragraph, page 44. So these Japanese communities created a communal ritual whereby a soldier was publicly thanked and praised effusively for his service to the people. After this was done, and at great length, an elder would stand and announce with authority something to this effect. Quote, "The war is now over. The community needs you to let go of what served you and served us well up till now. The community needs you to return as a man, a citizen, and something beyond a soldier." You would think, why would that speak so deeply to me? Why would that be so meaningful? Despite the early progress I'd made with Teresa and with Sybil, I seemed to be stuck with the past story that had defined me from the age of 8 into my 60s. The shame of a childhood trauma at age 8 and the habitual pattern of distrust that followed shaped many of the decisions I made for decades. The decision was to only trust myself, never others. And this led me to a life of self-sufficiency and achievement. Work, accomplishment, and recognition were the oxygen of my life. It had crowded out everything else of deep meaning and connection. Personal relationships, ultimately marriages, were sacrificed on the altar of chasing acceptance in my work, in my accomplishments, and in the organizations I led. I was obsessed with this pursuit, even to the point of missing my father's retirement party at age 62, where hundreds of his bus drivers that he had trained celebrated his special day. I was at work 2 states away. This loyal soldier's story finally gave me permission to release an old identity of shame, regret, brokenness, and unworthiness. It reminded me of one of God's promises in Revelation, "Behold, I make all things new." But not just in the future, but in the here and now, in this broken world today. During that coaching session, we developed a plan to have my own loyal soldier ceremony 1 year later. I vowed to return to the very site of the trauma in a location that once held me in such fear and avoidance. The reason I'd fled my hometown, moved states away, focused on my career, and distanced myself from those I love and even God. I intuitively knew it'd take a season of preparation. How long, I did not know. And this turns me to the last pillar, journaling and sharing. And what's held all these tools together, the real life process, spiritual direction, one life maps. Upon leaving that coaching session, I wanted to write my own loyal soldier discharge speech that I would one day hope to embody. I began journaling and sharing my reflection with close friends. And in a couple of weeks, I decided to begin posting them on social media, along with a personal photo from my collection. I dubbed these posts my reunion tour, a journey towards coming home to the person before the trauma and the person who can use their life experiences to be helpful to others. Over time, as I gained my voice, my post evolved from prose to poetry, chronicling what I was noticing about how God had always been with me, how he's with me now, and how he's going before me. Today, nearly 4 years later, I've written more than 950 of these posts. I'm gathering them now and publishing them on a new website, which I call myreuniontour.com. Over the intervening years, God has pruned me and shaped me in so many ways. Business and commerce no longer carry the importance that it once held in my life. Over the last few years, I've weathered the loss of one of my closest friends and his mother. Last year, when my dad's health began to decline, I was blessed to have clients filled with grace who allowed me to step away from work. And along with my sister, we walked each day with my dad through the many medical challenges until he went to heaven in April of this year. Being with him changed my life. I did so with gratitude and love, leaving nothing unsaid. Years ago, before this story that I'm sharing with you began, God knew I would need a new heart and a new approach to life, one without shame, regret, or unworthiness. It took a community. It took frameworks. It took resources. And yes, it took love to get me to this place. And it took discharge orders for my loyal soldier. So Christmas, a year later, after I went to that coaching session, I wrote a speech and I went to the field where this trauma occurred that once held such horror. Today, it's a beautiful garden of remembrance. I'm thankful for God's work in my life and for all those who've played a part in helping me see that all my life experiences, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the heartbreaking, can be useful in his world. So here's what I wrote. Here's the speech I gave on that day. I went back home. This happened in the yard behind the house I grew up in. My dad has a place across the street. I would sit in that house and look across to that field and just couldn't bear to go over there. I was home visiting family and I caught COVID. I could not visit my family that day. I was in isolation, so I had to stay at a hotel. Couldn't be with my family on Christmas Day. So I thought, this is just as good a day as any to do the loyal soldier discharge speech. So I brought it over, and this is what I wrote. It was an aspirational speech, but I think it bears true even today. It's called Letting Go of Loyal Soldier. Thank you, brave one. You stepped in when no one else could know our secret. During that time of shame and confusion, you made a plan. One day, we went to Dad's bedroom and found our answer in the clothes hamper. Holding his t-shirt aloft, 8 years old, we declared if we could ever fill that shirt, no one would ever bully us again. Your promise came true. We filled that t-shirt and then some, growing taller than anyone in the family and wider too. No one ever came close to harming us again. It kept scary people away because we intimidated them, even though we wouldn't hurt a fly. People often wondered if it changed how Dad disciplined us. Not really, honestly, because of our respect and love for him. Our plan also protected us from vulnerable places, like in dating and intimacy. Walled off beneath this body, we pushed most away, even our wives. Instead, we relied upon our imagination for closeness or to bring up unneeded resentments. But you did our job too well, keeping trust at bay or even giving others a chance to earn it. It's pretty lonely inside the stockade, loyal soldier. For 50 years, you've stood watch, guarded carefully, protecting and preserving me. Well done, good and faithful, loyal soldier. But now it's time for you to step down from your post. With deep and profound appreciation for 5 decades of extraordinary service, here's your medal, here's a parade in your honor, and a commendation from the general above. Because it's time for you, loyal soldier, to enjoy retirement. You can now hang out at a tropical location, sip a margarita or two. You deserve it. We can handle our scary moments now with our new friend Jesus. He's amazing in this role. He's been with us all along, waiting his turn to step in. Recently, he asked me what I most needed. And I said, to give you, loyal soldier, this gift of retirement. Jesus knows faithful servants when he sees them, and he agrees it's time. Rest well, loyal soldier.